The Nile floodwaters recede near Memphis in 2450 BC, revealing a stone tablet where Pharaoh Userkaf's artisans carve his decree. At Abydos temple complex, priests burn Kaifi incense so thick during the 19th dynasty that workers cough while painting Osiris' green-skinned resurrection on chapel walls. A young Thutmose III trembles in 1479 BC Memphis, clutching a lapis lazuli eye of Horus amulet as viziers debate his regency. The mythic child king trope made flesh. Dawn breaks over Djoser's step pyramid complex circa 2650 BC, where lector priests chant the cannibal hymn. In the Delta marshes, fugitive Prince Kamose hides among papyrus reeds in 1550 BC, whispering the contendings of Horus and Seth to justify his rebellion against Hyksos rulers. The Heb-Sed festival courtyard echoes with pounding feet as Seneret III runs the ritual race in 1860 BC, reenacting Shu separating Nut from Jeb to renew cosmic order. Workers hauling limestone blocks for Khufu's pyramid in 2560 BC sing. At Elephantine's flood gauge, priests measure 16 cubits in 1850 BC, then dispatch runners bearing Isis tears, the mythical justification for tax adjustments. Hatshepsut's sculptors chisel Deir el-Bahri colonnades in 1470 BC, depicting Amen's divine conception breath as hawk wings beating against her face. A Nubian archer captured at Buin Fortress in 1900 BC stares at Ramesses II's battle reliefs showing pharaohs as Sekhmet incarnate. Lion-headed slaughter made propaganda. The Apis bull's burial procession in 1400 BC Memphis stretches 2 miles, priests scattering barley like stars from Nut's body to sanctify bovine Osiris. Vizier Rekhmeyer's Theban tomb shows 550 BCE artisans molding golden Horus thrones, their hammers beating the rhythm of the. During the 2100 BC drought, Pepi II's envoys unroll papyrus maps marked with Seth's desert domains, forbidden zones where chaos dwells. At Edfu's foundation ceremony in 237 BC, priests bury Phaon's amulets showing Horus spearing Seth-as-hippo beneath temple cornerstone. The bent pyramid's sudden angle shift in 2600 BC Dashur mirrors Sneferu's nightmare of Nut's spine cracking, cosmic architecture gone wrong. Amarna's abandoned workshops in 1330 BC hold half-carved Aten discs, their stone rays broken where Akhenaten erased Shu's fingers. In Saqqara's embalming tent, 600 BCE priests stuff natron into Ramesses IV's abdomen while singing Isis laments for Osiris' scattered body. The Palermo Stone's hieroglyphs record 2400 BC Nile heights beside Pharaoh Neferirker's dream. Sobek's crocodile jaws snapping at chaos. At Karnak's sacred lake, Hatshepsut's daughter Neferu washes with natron salt in 1460 BC, reenacting Isis' purification of Osiris' corpse. The Famine Stela on Sehel Island shows Djoser weeping before Khnum's ram-headed statue in 2650 BC. Divine blame for 7 lean years. During the 2200 BC collapse, peasants near Heracleopolis whisper that Osiris' throne lies empty as pyramid builders starve. Tutankhamun's 1327 BC restoration decree orders Seth's statues smashed while artisans regild Horus' falcon eyes with electrum. In Abusir's Sun Temple, 2400 BC priests align copper mirrors to ignite Niuser's sacrifice. Ra's solar boat made manifest in flame. The Bentrish Stela recounts how Ramesses II sent Khonsu's statue to heal a Syrian princess in 1250 BC, healing myth as diplomatic tool. At Medinet Habu's gates in 1180 BC, scribes tally Libyan prisoners branded with Seth's hieroglyph, living chaos defeated. The dramatic Ramesseum Papyrus describes Merneptah's actors reenacting Horus' victory over Seth during the 1210 BC Heb festival. In Amen's Karnak sanctuary, 1400 BC high priests place the pharaoh's name inside golden barks, floating names as divine currency. Workers building Djedefre's pyramid in 2570 BC discover red ochre deposits, declaring it Seth's spilled blood made construction taboo. The Ipuwer Papyrus laments 1800 BC chaos. At Philae's flood peak, priests released 24 geese for each nome in 350 BC, Thoth's lunar reckoning guiding provincial rule. Cleopatra VII's 46 BC barges drift past Kham Ombo, where dual sanctuaries honor both Horus the Elder and crocodile-headed Sobek, divine paradox-made stone. The Shabaka Stone's cracked surface preserves 700 BC Memphite theology, Ptah's thoughts creating Autumn's mound from primeval waters. In Dendera's crypts, 50 BC priests oil the golden Hathor statue whose wig holds the secret of Sekhmet's pacification. The El Kab Desert yields 3000 BC petroglyphs showing Scorpion King smiting enemies as Serket's venomous protector. At Saqqara's Serapeum, 600 BC priests slide Apis bulls into 70-ton sarcophagi while chanting Osiris resurrection formulas. The Turin Judicial Papyrus details the 1150 BC trial of tomb robbers forced to swear on Amit's devourer of hearts statue. Horemheb's Saqqara tomb depicts him receiving the Ankh from Osiris in 1300 BC, a general's divine promotion to Pharaoh. In Amarna's records office, scribes in 1340 BC scratch out Mut's name from marriage contracts per Akhenaten's monotheistic purge. At Giza's Sphinx Temple, 2500 BC priests pour milk libations into trenches shaped like Hay's eternity hieroglyph. The coffin texts spell 261 warns 2000 BC governors. During Kamoz's 1550 BC siege, Theban soldiers wear scarab amulets inscribed. In Dendera's Mami C, 54 BC priestesses enact Hathor's birth cycle using copper mirrors and hippopotamus milk. The Rhind Mathematical Papyrus calculates pyramid slopes in 1550 BC using Sekhmet's lioness angles, geometry as divine proportion. At Bubastis festival, 600 BCE revelers shatter 700,000 wine jars while cat statues watch, Bastit's ecstatic governance. The Ebers Papyrus records Ramesses III's 1150 BC donations, 309,950 sacks of grain to Amun-Ra's myth-sustaining granaries. In Edfu's inner sanctum, Ptolemy VIII enters alone in 140 BC to merge with Horus' golden falcon statue during the union ritual. The Westcar Papyrus magicians part lake waters before Khufu in 2550 BC, mythic power as royal entertainment. At Tanis in 1000 BC, Libyan pharaohs wear double crowns but keep Seth's animal sacrificed, foreign rulers adopting local myth. The Famine Stela's hieroglyphs show Djoser sleeping on raw linen to receive Khnum's dream vision of Elephantine's granite. During the 2200 BC drought, priests at Heliopolis bury benben stones while singing autumn's primordial isolation hymn. The Bent Pyramid's capstone ceremony in 2590 BC halts when vultures circle, interpreted as Nekhbet's disapproval. At Karnak's seventh pylon, Hatshepsut's smashed statues in 1450 BC bear Thutmose III's chisel marks, erasure as Sethian chaos. The Brooklyn Papyrus lists 1800 BC temple serpents fed daily, apophis contained through ritual nourishment. In Abusir's archives, 2400 BC clay seals depict Sahor's fleet returning with punt incense for Ra's nostrils. The Book of Caverns' 1250 BC illustrations show Osiris vertebrae as D-jade pillars supporting the state. At Philae's last pagan rite in 456 AD, a priest whispers to Isis statue. The Unis Pyramid's 2300 BC causeway shows starving Bedouin eating grass, chaos at ordered Egypt's edges. In Crocodilopolis, 150 BCE priests force-feed sacred reptiles honeycakes during Sobek's river procession. The Ebers Papyrus prescribes 1550 BC headache cures using Isis hair knot spells, medicine as mythic reenactment. At Amarna's boundary stelae, Akhenaten burns 1345 BC treaty scrolls while shouting. The Narmer palate's back shows 3100 BC Hathor heads framing the king, bovine goddess legitimizing unification. In DJ Defray's abandoned quarry, 2560 BC worker graffiti depicts the pharaoh as Icarus fallen, early mythic critique. The bent pyramid's descending corridor ends at an empty 2600 BC sarcophagus, Sneferu's rejection of Osirian rebirth. At Karnak's sacred lake, 1400 BC purification priests count 366 steps, one for each day of Nut's starry body. The Palermo Stone's final fragment records Khufu donating 1,000 oxen to Sekhmet's plague-ending cult. In Saqqara's Serapeum, the last API's bull entombed in 30 BC bears Cleopatra's cartouche, myth outliving pharaohs.